Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the Cubs baseball channel. And I'm wondering what the Cubs have under their tree. I mean, I know they already got Kyle Tucker, but what's next? They need some pitching. That's something that we're going to talk about here on the show today because there's a couple of names that have popped up that are worth talking about. Could the next Cubs closer, maybe bullpen guy, be Paul Sewald? You remember him, 3 different teams that he pitched for, including the Mets and the Diamondbacks in the National League. And would the Minnesota Twins really trade Pablo Lopez? And if they did, would the Cubs be willing to give up some of their prospects to get him? I think that that's a guy that could make a lot of sense, and I'm going to tell you why, if that is really a possibility, although Ken Rosenthal thinks that the Twins may be willing to give him up. So we're going to talk about that right here on the Cubs baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you for being here. Let's get the show started. Go Cubs. What do you say, everybody? And welcome to the Cubs baseball channel. Mick Gillespie here. Thanking you for hanging out with us and talking Cubs like we do every day. So this is a Christmas edition. I told you guys, I work on the holidays. This goes all the way back to bartending in college. I don't care. Does it mean I'm not enjoying the holiday? No, it just means I'm taking time out for you because you may want to watch a little Cubs. You may want to get away from what's going on, the turkey and the dressing and the football and the family conversations or whatever it is, right? So that's why I'm here. I'm doing this for you guys today. And I appreciate all of you guys for being here on the channel. Okay, let's get into this right away. I mean, I know it's the holidays. You don't have as much time as you normally do. You want to talk right into the baseball action. Could the Cubs be interested in free agent Paul Sewald? Okay, well, let's get into a couple of things first. He was with the Diamondbacks parts of the last 2 years, right? He was traded over to the D-backs a couple of seasons ago. You remember that. He was with Seattle. And he was pretty good there, had 21 saves. He ended up with the Diamondbacks in 2023, and he put 13 more on the tally. So he ended up with 34 saves in 2023 and had a great 3.12 ERA, and it was one of his best seasons. Then last year with the Diamondbacks, it seemed like everything went wrong for him, and he was eventually demoted from the closer's role. And that happens with these guys. What's crazy about closers is how some guys are there and they don't stay there very long. The mountain is very high and pointy, right? I mean, think about our guy, Adbert Alzolay. He's off the 40-man, right? Just a couple of years ago, same 2023, he was really good. He was saving every time he got the chance. But Sewald had some injuries last year. April, he had a strained left oblique. That cost him some time. And then September, he had discomfort in the left side of his neck. What was even worse for him is that after getting started with a great April, I think he was like 11 for 11 in save opportunities in the May, the wheels fell off, and eventually they took the closer's role from him with the Diamondbacks, and he ended up with a total of 16 saves, so 11 of those came early, and a 4.31 ERA, and through just 39 and 2/3 innings last year, and through strikes, only 10 walks, 43 strikeouts, but just did not have the type of season that the Diamondbacks needed him to have. And you remember the Diamondbacks got to the World Series 2 years ago. They lost to the Rangers, but everybody thought they went out, they signed some players. Hey, we got more money. We're going to use this to build our roster. And all that happened is that they were a disappointment. They were a letdown. And so that is kind of where they are now going into the season, trying to figure out what they have to do to find the success that they had 2 years ago. But for the Cubs, they're trying to find, and you know this, or maybe we say we need some bullpen help. Last year, the Cubs had some injuries, and they were really never able to rebound from the injuries. And that means you have to have depth. That's also how you use the bullpen. Are you burning guys out? Are you letting them stick around and figure it out? Are you using guys 3-4 days in a row? Or even if they don't pitch in the game, are they up and loosening in the bullpen? How much is too much? And this is part of that. And then how durable are pitchers? I mean, these guys aren't like they used to be where, you'd see guys like Bruce Sutter could pitch every day, Dennis Eckersley. But when you're trying to throw max effort, which it's one of the biggest problems with baseball right now is, you're trying to put as much shape on the ball as you can, and you're trying to max out velocity every time, get outs, right? Just get outs. Like, it doesn't matter how hard you throw it to me. It's just whether you get the guy out or not. And I don't know why we've gotten away from that, but analytics people tell you, oh, it's that. And now you got everybody getting hurt, right? So Cubs had that issue last year for sure. And Sewald, I think, would be, like they're saying that maybe like around, $6-7 million 1 year deal. It's a lot of money, but the potential to give yourself some help, even if he's the setup guy, having him in the bullpen, I think helps you out a lot. And, for the Cubs, they definitely need some answers. And this is what you're hoping, is that you get a guy like this, you take a risk, and you end up getting the Sewald that pitched 2 years ago, with the Mariners in Seattle, the 34 save guy, the guy that came in and pretty much locked it down, right? Even leading into that, 2022 had a 2.67 ERA, 20 saves, and was a really effective bullpen piece for the Mariners. You remember, though, his days with the Mets, but in his career, 84 saves in his 8 years of pitching. He hasn't always been the closer, but when he's good, he's really good, and that's why you could get him for $7 million and not $70 million, right? If he was consistently good, he wouldn't be at that price. So that's one that's out there that was worth talking about. I don't know how serious the Cubs are, because it just feels like the Cubs are kind of a little bit tight on the dollar right now. You're hearing reports that are saying, well, the Cubs aren't going to sign anybody long-term until the next contract is signed between the players and the teams. And I wonder about that. Includes Kyle Tucker. I saw a report that said the Cubs wouldn't sign Kyle Tucker. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that's someone's opinion. If Kyle Tucker comes in and he fits the mold, I think that they'd be willing to go ahead and pay him the money. I mean, they were going to pay Shohei Ohtani. If this guy puts up the numbers and he fits and the Cubs win, they're probably not going to let him walk. I think they just want to be careful with the way that they spend their money, but I don't think there's a definitive there. It's just my opinion. All right, change the subject. Let's talk about another guy. This would be a trade, and this would actually fit the Cubs probably more financially. Now, you'd have to pick up his contract, and the guy just signed a 4-year, $73 million contract in 2023. But Pablo Lopez. Now, would the Twins really be willing to trade Lopez, right? I was kind of surprised that this name popped up. Ken Rosenthal threw it out there. Hey, you know what? The Twins don't like paying these big contracts. Did the guy live up to his contract? Yeah. 2023 was 11-8, a 3.66 ERA. He's been an innings machine through 194 that season, 32 starts. Last year, same thing, 15-10 for the Twins, 4.08 ERA, 185 in the third innings that year with 198 strikeouts. He would go right to the top of the Cubs rotation. 7 years in the big leagues, 3.91 ERA, and he's a winner. 54 wins, 49 losses. These are the type of pitchers that get you into the playoffs. And if the Cubs added a Lopez, you're going to have to give up some pitching. You know that. Maybe a Kevin Alcantara. I know they want to trade him, like get him out. It's not that he's a bad player. You just have a logjam with outfielders. He's a prospect, one of the top 10 prospects, got to the big leagues last year. Maybe you put a package together. But if they could possibly get him, the other part of this is that, he's already signed. I mean, like you have, some years left with him. And for the Twins, hey, we'll get rid of him and we'll find other options. I don't know what this trade would look like for the Cubs, but to me, this is one of those deals that if I was the Cubs, I'd go, you know what, I'd consider this, because when you look at the starting rotation for the Cubs right now, and you go, okay, what's, where are we at with this Cubs team? Where are we at? What are we doing here with the Cubs, and how would our rotation look with a Pablo Lopez? All right. And then I say, okay, well, I know this much. You got Imanaga at the top of the rotation. Everybody likes him. And then right behind him, you got Justin Steele, stays healthy. He's really good. Then Jameson Taillon, back of the rotation, Matthew Boyd. I know he came back last year. Still, not sure about him, to be honest with you. Another left-hander, and then Javier Assad, who, I love Javi, but, he's kind of been that swing guy. Now you got him squarely in the rotation. I think if you add Lopez to this rotation, slide everybody back one. And now all of a sudden you're going, you know what? We got a pretty good rotation. And then you could use Assad for, bullpen relief. And I think that would help the team too. So we'll see if this is even real, but the Cubs pulled off the Tucker trade. And I feel like I've said it, I keep saying it over and over again. This is a show or go year for the Cubs front office. Either you do it or you're out. And so if I'm them, I made all of these trades, getting rid of all of the great Cubs, got players back. Those guys are ready. I don't have a spot for them. Well, I make a trade, send some of those guys off, including Alcantara. And then all of a sudden now I got an ace at the front of the staff, and if he's not an ace, maybe he's a really good number 2 or number 3 guy. But I love the innings. I love the fact that he wins games, keeps you in a lot of games, and he's durable, right? Justin Steele can't say he's durable. Jameson Taillon can't say he's durable. We've seen 1 year of Shota Imanaga, and it felt like at times we're moving him around so that he didn't have to pitch. This guy is like, hey, put him at the top and let him sit there, and then everybody kind of bounces back behind him, So it's the way that things go these days. All right, look, guys, thank you for a great so far season. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family today if you celebrate Christmas. For those of you that are people that celebrate Hanukkah, hey, hope you're having a great holiday as well. I know some of you guys are like, man, you talk a lot of Hanukkah on here, man. One of my best friends growing up was, celebrated Hanukkah, Jewish guy, Sean Austin. So I got to throw it out there for him, just for him, because I used to go to his house too. But he also had a Christmas tree, which was, guess that's kind of the way you do it, right? Get to celebrate 2 holidays. Anyway, thank you, really. No matter what you do or how you celebrate, we're all at this table celebrating the Cubs every single day on the channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. I appreciate the comments you guys put on there every day too. And even on Christmas, here we are giving you content. Go Cubs. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. And we'll talk to you again the next day. We're going to get you through the holiday season, even through my vacation. So that's the way we do it here.